Who dat to the Who Dat Nation? Welcome to the Who Dat Say podcast, your podcast for the New Orleans Saints here on the KB Radio Network. I am your fellow Who Dat and host, Kevin Reed, and we have wrapped up week 2 and the Saints fall 2-0-2 as they come up short yet again, losing to the San Francisco 49ers by a score of 26-21. Backup quarterback Mac Jones threw for 3 touchdown passes in the victory over the New Orleans Saints today. This loss, of course, drops us to 0-2, while the 49ers improve to 2-0. Help me out, Who Dat Nation. I'm in a weird spot right here because I absolutely have no emotion. I really don't. I don't want to say I don't care, but it didn't bother me. I didn't get mad at the loss. I'm not upset at the loss. It is what it is. It's kind of expected at this point with the Who Dat Nation. When it comes to the New Orleans Saints, I should say this is what it is. This is where we at as a franchise. The one thing that bothers me, I will say, coming out of today's game, well, let me start from the beginning. I said going into this game that this was the game that we needed to see Kellen Moore's team. We needed to see his system. We needed to see him execute what he brought to the table, or what he pitched to bring to the table to win this job as the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Because last week didn't do it for me. He didn't pass any tests for me. And I'm going to explain why. Because this week was pretty much the same. It's the same. And when I say the same, this team looks exactly like it did for the past 3 years. It looks the exact same. Now, there are subtle differences. I wouldn't say exact. That was the wrong adjective. But there are subtle differences. I will give the Saints this, and this is probably why I don't have anger or just embarrassment by watching this team. Saints fight. They fight. The last 2 weeks, they've been in it. It isn't like the Arizona Cardinals and the 49ers came into our spot and just trampled all over the New Orleans Saints like teams have done in the past. Once a team jumps on the Saints, they just keep jumping. They stump a mud hole in the Saints. But the Saints keep the game close for the most part. The problem is they just can't break through, and they can't capitalize on opportunities that the opposing teams have given them. In this case, when we look at the 49ers come into this game a mash unit. Their starting quarterback out. Their leading playmaker or pass catcher, I should say, their tight end, George Kittle, out. They had nothing else as far as a wide receiver of note that you had to fear. The only person you had to fear was Christian McCaffrey. And so that would tell you right off the bat, we're going to eliminate Christian McCaffrey from this game. We're going to take him out. If Matt Jones dropped back and beat us, God bless him. He drops back and beat us, which essentially he did. But at the same time, they didn't really take away Christian McCaffrey. Now, he didn't have a just beast mode of a game against the Saints. But Christian McCaffrey came up big in big moments. Third down conversion after third down conversion. I mean, it was like third down. They know who's getting the ball. We know who's getting the ball. And he converted every single time. But you have a team that's just decimated, and you made them look like it looked like they ain't missing a beat. Now, all respect to the 49ers. 49ers is probably, if not the best coached team in the NFL, one of the best coached team in the NFL. Today proves it. This is coaching. This is not a player. You know, football is a team sport, believe it or not. You know, it takes a team, not just the 22 men on the field, but it also takes the coaches and the coordinators on the sideline. And so when you have a team that have injuries the way the 49ers have injuries, for instance, look at the Saints. Look at the Saints when they have injuries. It's over. It's over. You know it's over for the Saints. They don't stand a snowball's chance in you know where when the Saints get hurt. But when the 49ers get hurt, they find a way to win. And today they found the way to win. Saints had their chances nonetheless. When you are a team that nobody gives a shot to win anything this season, you have to come out hot, come out fast, and come out furious. And start hot and fast and furious. Saints did. That opening drive, it was money. It was perfect. They went right down the field. Beautiful. I mean, beautiful drive. Couldn't cap it off. Spencer Rattler missed on a touchdown, wide open. Chris Olave threw it behind him a bit. Could Chris Olave had adjusted and caught the ball? Sure, he could have. Sure. But he shouldn't have to. You know, that ball was behind him. That's a trait that I see from Spencer Rattler that's quite honestly frustrating. You know, those balls he doesn't give his receivers a chance to make a play. You know, they're either low or they're off to the sideline or they're slightly behind him. Nowhere where it leads out in front of them where they can get any yards after the catch. That's the part where I'm like, come on, we got to work on that. Give your playmakers a chance to make a play, and he needs to work on that. But he got better as the game went on. I mean, this is probably the best Spencer Rattler game we have gotten. You know, he looked like he looked like the guy. He really did. He looks like the guy. Everybody who has been poo-pooing on his name, doubting him. Oh man, they should have put Tyler Shuck in and all this other foolishness. I don't want to hear no slander about Spencer Rattler today. Yeah, I'm gonna mention a couple of nitpicks I had with him throughout the game, but for the most part, he did his job. He has zero reason to hold his head down in that locker room. Now, there are a few others that could. Several others that could, but not him. But going back to that opening drive, all right, we didn't get the touchdown. Let's at least get some points on the board, kick the field goal. This dude Groupie, bruh. This dude Groupie for the second week in a row. And for the second week in a row, crucial kick that came back to haunt us. Just think about it. Saints lost by 5 points today. He kicks that field goal, makes that field goal. We just spitballing here. Let's say at the end of this game or towards the end of the game when the Saints are driving trying to get a touchdown because it's 26-21. Maybe now they're driving to get in field goal position because it's 26-24. Differently called game. You know, you approach that drive differently because you don't have to go 94 yards, which is where they started. They started at the 6-yard line. And so this way now you can, okay, we only have to get 50 yards. Or well, in his case, 60. He gets 60 yards and have a chance to win the game at the end. But whatever, man. This dude ain't working. He is not working. He missed some kicks last season that were crucial. He missed kicks this season already 2 weeks in that were crucial. You look right across the field at the 49ers. They had a kicker issue last week. They cut him last week. They didn't waste no time. Oh, he'll work his way through it or all this other. No. They brought in a new kicker. We don't have time to play around with that. That's what the 49ers said. Not the Saints. Not the Saints. We're going to hold on to this inconsistent kicker that is going to eventually cost us a game again. You know, he didn't cost us this game per se. He didn't cost us last week per se, but it's going to come down to a moment where the Saints are down by 1, down by 2 late in the game, or need to tie the game, being down by 3 or something to that effect, and he's going to miss the kick. That's what he does. It's like clockwork. You can set your watch to it. And the way his kicks look, they just horrible looking. Is instantly when that ball left his foot, I knew it was missed. Instantly. That's how bad it is. And I don't understand. I really don't understand. But something needs to be done. Bring another kicker in. You know, just to scare him. Just to let him know, man, get your act right, or we signing another kicker. Something. Light a fire of him under him. Something. Speaking of lighting a fire. Speaking of cutting. Juwan Johnson. Beautiful touchdown catch today. He made up for last week when he dropped the game-tying touchdown. He caught a beautiful touchdown today. But before we get to that, let's talk about the drops, blatant drops. I mean, my God, Spencer Rattler. I know I mentioned how he puts the ball in places, you know, that aren't too flattering for these receivers to earn their money. But the two that he threw to Juwan Johnson in the first half that hit him not only in the hands, but in the chest, and he flat out dropped. One was a big third down. Killed the drive. I'm done. I'm so done. I was done with him last week. Who am I kidding? I was done with him last year. He is big for nothing. He is the most inconsistent tight end in all of football. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get a spectacular, almost impossible catch like he did for that touchdown grab, or a simple 6-yard curl route where nobody around him and the ball hits him in the hand, goes through the hands, into the chest, bounce off the chest, send out the punt team. I can't deal with this, man. This has to change. While Mickey Loomis, in his infinite wisdom, decides to make a trade for a wide receiver that we won't see touch the field till this time next year. What good is that to me? What good is that to this team? How is that going to help us today? It didn't. The guy is literally getting surgery as we speak. And you made a trade for him. You gave up a pick. Late round pick, 7th round pick. I don't care. That's a wasted transaction, in my humble opinion. I don't care how this dude turns out to be. Look, all respect to him. I think it's, Jalen Polk? All respect to him. He was a high draft pick last season. I think either 2nd round? I believe. I don't remember. Don't care. After I found out he wasn't playing this season, I stopped researching him. Because what sense did it make? What sense did it make to make this transaction? I don't get it, man. We need help now. Right now. Yes, we're rebuilding. Yes, we are. Yes, we are basically tearing this thing down. Nothing but a slab left. And we're building up from the ground up. I'm all for that. Saints need that. But that's not speaking of consistency or inconsistency in this case, Mickey Loomis, you're the most inconsistent tight end. Still got Juwan Johnson on my brain. GM in the league. You make moves to whereas, okay, we're actually going to try to win. A la the Devon Verley trade that you made with Denver, the big wide receiver that they got. Fine, that's cool. He caught a touchdown today. Kudos on that. I guess that paid off. But you made that move as if this is a team ready to win now. And then you come back and make a move like this, making a move for the future. Because we all know the writing's on the wall. I know why they made the move. Because Chris Olave contract coming up. Rashid Shaheed contract coming up. So you got that coming up. You're not going to re-sign both of them, if any of them, knowing the Saints. Both of them probably walk out the door for nothing, knowing the Saints. And so at best case scenario, you're only going to keep one. And so you're going to need somebody to replace him. All right, I guess that's what Jalen Polk is for. Well, here's the problem with that. He has a torn labor, shoulder injury. How will he come back from that? We just had our safety that we just acquired over the offseason. Julian Blackman, he had shoulder surgery. Just got back from that. Comes over to the Saints, plays one game, gets hurt again with that same shoulder. Got to have surgery yet again on that shoulder. Blah, blah, blah. So, shoulder. I can't speak now. He got me flustered. But that's not to say, and I'm knock on wood, God willing, that doesn't happen to Jalen Polk. I hope he has the surgery. It's successful. He comes back rebuilt, recharged, and ready to go. He's the $6 billion man. He's Lee Majors Jr. I hope that happens, but it just didn't make sense to me. But I said all that to say this. Going back to Juwan Johnson, he needs to go. That's just that. He needs to go. I don't know why they re-signed this dude in the offseason and gave him money. Like, that was it. This is the piece we need. It made zero sense to me. This guy is useless. He is useless. But anywho's, defense. If you listen to the show, you know that I was super high on the defense, super excited about this defense. Last week, I thought they put up a pretty good showing in spite of the loss. I thought they did a really good job. What happened to that? Where are they at? where were they today? This defense did not look good at all today. Now, yes, they had crucial stops in crucial moments. Yes, they did. They even got a turnover today. Awesome. I can't understand. I can't understand how this team constantly, and this is defense and offense, but we're focusing on the defense right now. Why they kill themselves constantly? Saints defense will get the 49ers off the field. Third down. Fourth down comes up. Punt team is on the field. All of a sudden we see a flag. Saints did something, automatic first down. Oh my God. This happened 5 times I counted in this game. 5 times. Now, 49ers did it too. The 49ers did it too, I think in the fourth quarter on that last touchdown drive that we had. The 49ers literally ushered us up the field, and I appreciate that. But we would do one because we've been doing it for teams for the longest, in counting today. We ushered them down the field. Oh my God, man, Kool-Aid McKinstry. My man, you're the number one corner. You're the replacement for Marshawn Lattimore. You supposed to, and not asking you to be Marshawn Lattimore, but what I am asking you to be is a good corner. Is somebody that can make some smart decisions. He made some stupid decisions today. Alontae Taylor looked good today. He did look good. I know the commentators on Fox were kind of harping on for giving up that touchdown, but what are you supposed to do on that touchdown? It was a pick play that he had to run through traffic to try to catch up with Christian McCaffrey. Number one is a mismatch. But so I don't know why they harped on him on that, but whatever. He should have read the play. He had a good game. That's it. That's it in the secondary. Sanker. I'll give Sanker. I'll give him a shout out. He had a good game, being as though this was his first start. The moment wasn't too big for him. He made some really good plays in there. Nothing that jumps out on you on a stat sheet or anything like that. But I saw him in on quite a few plays, and so I just want to tip my hat to him. Demario Davis. Yeah, my man. It's winding down. The time is winding down for Mr. DD over there. But the defense just didn't get any pressure on Mac Jones. None whatsoever. How did they get pressure on Kyler Murray but couldn't get pressure on Matt Jones? The world may never know. Granted, I fully acknowledge that these are two completely different offensive lines. The 49ers offensive line is twice as better as the Arizona Cardinals. I do acknowledge that. But my God, they got no pressure. One of those drives, I saw Matt Jones back there making a sandwich. It was like he was just chilling, man. Now, there was a couple of moments, Carl Granderson, he got 2 sacks today. Chris Rump, he got a strip sack today. So there were moments they got back there, but bruh, I'm telling you, throughout it in its totality, the whole game, Matt Jones was pretty comfortable in that pocket, and I expected them to kind of make him uncomfortable. This is a backup quarterback. Granted, he's a little seasoned. He's not a grizzled old veteran by no stretch, but he's been in the league a while, so he knows a little bit about a little bit. But the Saints defense has had success against Matt Jones in the past. I think in grand total, I think the Saints have about 6 interceptions on Matt Jones. Now, granted, these are 2 different defensive schemes between the last time that we played Matt Jones, but I don't know, man. It was just kind of upsetting from watching that defense today. They did not look as crisp as they did last week against the Cardinals. Like I said, Spencer Rattler, he played one of his better games today. He threw 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdown passes. 1 to Juwan Johnson, 1 to Shadeed, and 1 to Devon Verley. So he had some good plays. Really, he stood out. And this is the first in his career that he's had 3 touchdown passes. I think at one point he threw like 13 straight completions or something like that, maybe 14. He started off 1-6, and from that moment on, he just went to dissecting the 49ers defense. He didn't throw an incompletion at all. He finished 25 of 34 for 206 yards and 3 touchdowns. But I mean, bruh, I was impressed with Spencer Rattler today. It was borderline amazing. It was borderline. If he could have pulled off this victory, this probably would have ranked up there with one of the best quarterback performances of a Saint quarterback. I said one of, not D. I already know what Drew Brees. I already know. Relax. One of. But moving on to Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara, he had a pretty good game today. A really good game, really. He had 100 yards, well, 99, depending on who you ask. But he was close to 100 yards today. But he did have that one faux pas, that fumble that really changed the game, because the Saints were driving on that drive. That really could have turned the tide, but that fumble really killed us. And I think they did. The 49ers took that fumble, the offense, I should say, and cashed it in and kind of separated on the scoreboard, and we just couldn't catch up at that moment. But it is the 12th time that Alvin Kamara has ran for more than 100 yards in a game, and that's crazy when you really put that together. That he's been the running back for the New Orleans Saints for how long? And he's only had 12 100-yard rush games. Really 11 because um, ESPN got him at 99. They ain't even give him the yard. So it's crazy. But he's more of a dual threat. You know, he's like Christian McCaffrey. They're 1 and 2. They came out in the same draft. You know, they're the same running back, skill wise. You know, they're pretty much the same. But he's more of a dual threat. Like he had 6 catches for 21 yards today. He really didn't do nothing. But the running game, aside from Kamara, nothing else happened. What happened to Kendre Miller? What happened to Devin Neal? They were using them last week. Why didn't we use all 3 this week? Because, like I said, the run was actually working. The run was working. But Kellen Moore, bro. Kellen Moore, he went away from it. Frustrating. It's frustrating. All right, let's go over the stats for this game. We're not going to harp on it too long. There's really nothing to harp about. There's really nothing to talk about in this game other than the fact that, hey, the Saints lost, you know, a close one. They put up a good fight. Let's go through the stats and let's talk game leaders. Let's start with passing yardage for the 49ers. Let's start with the 49ers. Matt Jones, he was 26 of 39, 279 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not to be outshined within the touchdown arena. We look over to the New Orleans Saints side. Spencer Rattler, he was 25 for 34 attempts, 207 yards, and also 3 touchdowns. Neither quarterback threw an interception today, but both quarterbacks, oddly enough, fumbled. Script sacked fumble. Spencer Rattler came at the last play of the game, or their last play, as they were trying to drive at the very end. Rushing leaders for the 49ers, of course, it was Christian McCaffrey with 55 yards on 13 carries. And for the Saints, it was Alvin Kamara with 99 yards. I'm just going to say 99 because they're not going to give him 100 on 21 carries. Leading receiver for both teams, 49ers leading receiver was Jenkins with 5 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown. For the New Orleans Saints, it was Chris Olave, 6 catches for 54 yards. Sacks, Carl Granderson with 2 sacks. For the 49ers, they had 1 sack, and that came from Huff, their defensive end. Leading tackler for both teams were our linebackers and their linebackers. Warner had 11, and for the Saints, Davis had 11. Team stats. For the New Orleans Saints, total yardage, they had 307 total yards. 49ers, 344. Both teams had 1 turnover apiece. First downs. Saints had 21 first downs. 49ers, 23 first down. Penalties, my God. Saints had 7 penalties for 45 yards. The 49ers had 5 penalties for 40 yards. And oddly enough, all of those penalties came like on one drive. It was one drive that the 49ers had all those penalties, or at least the majority of them, if memory serves. On third down conversions, Saints were 4 for 11. Pathetic. The 49ers were 8 for 15. Fourth down, Saints went for it twice on fourth down, only converted once. In the red zone, both teams were 100% in the red zone. This is the one category where the Saints were massively improved in. They were 3 for 3 in the red zone today. I haven't seen a perfect red zone number from the New Orleans Saints in a long time. It feels good in that sense, even though we lost the game. For the 49ers, they were 2 for 2 in the red zone. Time of possession was separated by a few seconds. The 49ers had the ball for 30 minutes and 45 seconds to the Saints, 29 minutes and 15 seconds. Just for kicks and giggles, looking around the NFC South, The only team that's playing, at least the time of this recording, is the Carolina Panthers. They're going up against our opponents from last week, the Arizona Cardinals, and they're losing big in Arizona. The Carolina Panthers are just like us. They haven't won yet and don't look like they're going to win again. So they'll be at the bottom with us. The Atlanta Falcons, they play the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday Night Football, and I believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play on Monday night. So we won't know how we stack up against the rest of the division until Tuesday morning or late Monday night. But it we know where we stack. It doesn't. There's no point to sit there and scoreboard watch. We are who we are at this point. Next week, the Saints will travel for the first time this season as they go clear across the country to play the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks had beat, I think, the Pittsburgh Steelers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. And so they're 1-1. Saints are taking their O on the road as they try to get back to their winning ways, if you will. I don't know. I don't know. We'll break down, of course, when we preview that game, but I don't know what the Saints look like stacked up against this team. We normally play better on the road, to be honest with you. Just to give a little sneak peek of what we'll be discussing this week, but I'm not looking for a victory next week. Spoiler alert, I'm not looking for it. But we'll have to go clear across the country to play the Seahawks next week, and then the week after that, we got to go all the way on the other side of the country to play the Buffalo Bills. So, yay for us. But this is disheartening. I was hoping, honestly, to be 1-1 at this point in time, coming into this season, but we're not anywhere close to being competitive with the rest of the league right now. I just don't see it. We need to treat this for what it is. We are a young team who will fight hard every game. I'll give them that. They're going to give it their all every game. And who knows, the luck of the draw, we may bang out 5, maybe 6 victories the rest of this season. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, it's the NFL. It's still early yet. The Saints could go on a tear and shock the world. Definitely shock me. And so, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's break down the grades. Let's grade the performances of the New Orleans Saints against the 49ers. You know how we do. We grade every facet of the team: offense, defense, special teams, and coaching. Round up those grades and come up with an overall grade for the New Orleans Saints performance in today's game. Let's start with the offense. Last week, the offense got a C+. This week, they get a B+. It improved slightly because Spencer Rattler, it looked like he was a little looser. It looked like the play calling was a little more open this week as per last week. And so I appreciated that. They got Alvin Kamara involved a lot more than they did last week. So I appreciate them for that. And it looked like they hinted to something. Unfortunately, it was too late before the game just completely got out of control. Well, not completely, but got to the point where we had to fight from behind. But the offense, for the most part, looked good. The offensive line held up, with all the injuries and whatnot, for the most part, because they still Cesar Ruiz, man. Jesus Christ. What is this dude? This dude needs to go, man. He needs to go. It's not working. It's not working. But overall, give the offense a B+. Defense, last week they got a B+. This week they get a C+. They get a they look good in moments, in spurts. But Matt Jones should not look that doggone good. Not that good. I was expecting him to play good because Kyle Shanahan. I was expecting him to play good, but not like that. Not dissecting this Saints defense the way he did. Yeah, it was almost embarrassing. Almost. But they get a C plus. Special teams gets a B. Blake Groupie gotta go. He has to kick him out the door like he kicked those field goals. He got to go. Find a kicker. Sad part is he's on my fantasy team. He's getting cut today from my fantasy team. I suggest the Saints do the same. Coaching gets a C plus, the same grade they got last week against the Cardinals. It's like bland. It's bland. There's nothing innovative about it. I think I said it early on in the show. This team looks the exact same as they did under Dennis Allen. There should be some subtle differences, man. There should be something there that I can say, okay, Kellen Moore, he's brought this to the table. He's changed this. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen where he is, carving out his thing. And I know it's early. I get all that, but come on, man. Let's stop making excuses. We see coaches change all through this league, and we see immediate impacts wherever they go. I don't care if it's a new coach, old coach, veteran coach, whatever. They make an immediate impact on the team, for better or for worse. There's an immediate impact. I haven't seen a change. It still feels like Dennis Allen's the coach at times. It's some of the play call is safe. Don't want to make a mistake. Don't want to put the quarterback in a bad position to make a mistake. That's their job. If put them in that position, it's up to the quarterback or the players on the field to adjust to it, to not mess it up. It's your job to get them there. It's their job to get it over the hump, but not him. Not him. He's spoon feeding, holding their hands. It's ridiculous. They get a C plus overall after we average out or milled it all together. The grades, it averages out to a B minus for the New Orleans Saints performance today. Like I said, it was decent. They put up a fight. And they put up some points. The offense looked like it exploded at moments. Spencer Rattler looked like he was the second coming of Drew Brees for a short, and I mean short, period of time there on the field. But overall, it's just they put themselves in these positions. Last week, you had the last minute trying to drive to tie the game at the end. This week, it's the last minute trying to drive the course of the field to win the game. Why are we in these positions? That's the stuff you need to fix. You need to fix the discipline on this team. And I'm not talking about the guys running around just being wild and crazy. I'm talking about knowing their jobs, knowing their assignments, stopping these penalties. Crucial moments, man. I can live with penalties because nobody's perfect. There are going to be penalties in the game. But, man, why? I mean, set your watch to it. When they flip that thing on the sideline, when they flip those numbers to third down, I'm telling you, my stomach drops. I get panic attacks because I know I must see yellow. I know that flag is going to come out at some point during this play. And more often than not, it does. And it's ridiculous. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed. Anywho's, one last thing before we get out of here today. Who's the MVP of the game and who needs to go sit in the corner? The MVP of the game, I would say, is Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler, who had a career day today. And, yeah, it's early in his career, but it's a career day nonetheless. Played a marvelous game today. He played well enough to win the game. To be honest with you, he's the reason this game was closer than what it deserved to be. And so I give him the MVP of today's game. Who has to sit in the corner? Juwan Johnson. Juwan Johnson sit in the corner, bruh. My God, bro. It's I can live with drops that, highly contested. I can live in comparisons, in comparisons to the two drops he had today per the one last week in the end zone. I can kind of understand the one in the end zone last week, even though I can't. But I'm just doing a comparisons thing here. That one was a little more difficult as per these two. The only thing Spencer Rattler could have did better on those two throws to Jawan Johnson was to walk out there to him and put it in his hand. That's the only other thing he could have did to make that catch easier. I don't. It's mind boggling. Sit in the corner. Sit in the corner. After you get out the corner, pack your bags and go. I'm done with him. I am done. I am so done with him. And then he had the nerve when he caught the touchdown to sit there and beat his chest and throw the ball into the stands like he did. Man, get out of here. Go sit down. Go sit down somewhere. Anyways, like I said, I had zero emotion about this game. I know it's not like the world's ending because the Saints are 0-2 right here. If you thought the Saints were going to compete for this division, compete to be in the playoffs, compete to even win a Super Bowl, that's on you. If you're upset right now, that is on you. I've been saying it. They had others who have been saying it, that this is not the year to sit there, hope, wish, and pray that the Saints make the playoffs. It's common sense, really. If you watch football, you know. This was not going to happen, especially when you look at this schedule going forward. Believe it or not, the last two games, these first games of the season, these were the two easiest. And this one was even easier because they didn't have all their weapons. These were the easier part of the schedule, at least early on. And we came out winless in it. So that should let you know how the rest of this season is going to go. But I would like to know, what did you think of today's game? Are you bummed out? Are you really ready to pack it all in, throw the bags over your head, and wait for better days? Oh man, relax, people. Come on now, don't act like that. Don't act like that. It's all right. As long as they keep you entertained, it should be good. And that the Saints do. They will keep you entertained. And so I would love to know your thoughts. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel. Like this video as well. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the Who That Say podcast here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this recap of the Saints Week 2 loss to the San Francisco 49ers, once again by a score of 26-21, dropping their record to 0-2 so far. I'll see y'all next week as we preview the Saints matchup against the Seattle Seahawks in the birthplace of beast mode. If y'all don't have enough things to worry about, you have that to conjure up in your memory banks. But until then, I know the Saints lost, but guess what? I'm still gonna be screaming, "Who that?"